Can you truly survive San Francisco with a family on less than $14,000 a month? Forget what you think you know about living in one of America's most iconic, yet notoriously expensive cities. We're about to pull back the curtain on the brutal financial reality that traps countless families in a desperate struggle, pushing many to the brink of homelessness. This isn't about Silicon Valley tech salaries or luxury condos. This is about the average family trying to make ends meet in a city that seems designed to crush their dreams. The rent nightmare, where $14,000 disappears first. Let's start with the elephant in the room, or rather, the extremely expensive room in San Francisco. Housing. For a family of four, finding adequate space is already a challenge, let alone affording it. The average rent for all property types in San Francisco is around $3,495, but that's a broad average. For a family needing at least a two-bedroom, or more likely, a three-bedroom apartment, you're looking at significantly higher figures. Reports indicate that an 85 square meters, approximately 900 square feet, furnished accommodation in a normal area can cost around $4,537 per month. In an expensive area, that jumps to $4,869. And this is for a normal area, not necessarily one with great schools or family-friendly amenities. Many families will find themselves needing more space, perhaps a three-bedroom apartment, which will easily push rent upwards of $5,000 to $6,000 or even higher. Consider that a two-bedroom unit in the city center averages $4,150, and in sought-after neighborhoods, rents often exceed $5,000 monthly. If you're hoping to squeeze by on less than $14,000, half or more of your budget is already gone before you even turn on a light switch. This isn't just a large chunk of change. It's a foundational pillar of financial instability for most families attempting to live here. The housing market in San Francisco is a relentless beast, driven by a severe housing shortage and a city planning ethos that makes new, affordable construction incredibly difficult. The result? Sky-high demand and limited supply, creating a system where only the highest earners can truly thrive. For many, simply paying rent becomes a full-time job in itself, leaving little room for anything else. The child care crisis, a second mortgage for tiny humans. If you have two children in a family of four, prepare for another devastating blow to your budget. Child care. San Francisco has some of the highest child care costs in the nation. Center-based infant care in San Francisco can cost around $3,771 per month. For a preschooler, ages 3 to 5, it's about $3,509 monthly. Let's assume you have an infant and a preschooler. That is staggering $7,280 per month just for childcare. Even if one child is school age, you still face substantial after-school care costs, which can average around $765 per month in California. If you have two young children requiring full-time care, it's immediately apparent that $14,000 is simply not enough. In fact, child care costs alone can quickly exceed half of that $14,000 budget, leaving an impossibly small sum for everything else. Many families are forced to make impossible choices. One parent stops working, sacrificing crucial income, while they rely on informal, often less reliable care options. Feeding the family, groceries and dining out, a luxury not a given. Now that rent and childcare have decimated most of your $14,000, let's talk about the essentials, food. San Francisco's grocery prices are approximately 30% higher than the national average. A simple gallon of milk can be nearly $6, a loaf of bread almost $5, and a dozen eggs over $5. For a family of four, a weekly grocery bill can easily range from $150 to $250, translating to $600 to $1,000 a month for basic groceries. And that's if you're meticulously planning meals, avoiding waste, and rarely, if ever, indulging in organic or specialty items. Eating out, even occasionally, becomes a true luxury. A basic meal at an inexpensive restaurant is about $22 per person. A three-course dinner for two at a mid-range establishment averages $90 to $100. For a family of four, a single modest dinner out can easily set you back $80 to $100 or more, quickly adding up if it's a weekly occurrence. While some Reddit users suggest a grocery budget of less than $1 for /person/day is possible, it requires extreme frugality and disciplined home cooking. For many families, especially those juggling work and childcare, this level of meal planning and execution can be a significant burden. The reality is, even with careful budgeting, food costs will eat up a substantial portion of any remaining funds, leaving little for unexpected cravings or the simple joy of a family meal out. Getting around. Transportation takes a toll. San Francisco's public transport network is extensive, including BART, trams, cable cars, and buses. A monthly public transport ticket is around $95 per person. For a family of 4, this would be $380 a month, assuming everyone uses public transit regularly. However, many families with young children or those living outside immediate transit hubs will rely on a car. And this is where transportation costs truly escalate. Gasoline prices in San Francisco hover around $5.20 per gallon, among the highest in the nation. Monthly parking in city garages can cost $300 or more. Vehicle registration tolls, like the Golden Gate Bridge toll at $6, and insurance further inflate the transportation budget. The average San Franciscan spends an astounding $10,379 annually on transportation, and for a family of 4, this figure can skyrocket to $17,410 annually, over $1,450 per month. Even if you're a single-car household and rely heavily on public transport, the combination of gas, parking, insurance, and occasional ride shares or taxis will easily push your monthly transportation costs into the hundreds, if not over $1,000. Commuting from more affordable areas outside the city also adds significant time and expense. This isn't a trivial line item. It's another substantial drain on an already strained budget. The invisible debt, healthcare, utilities, and hidden fees. Beyond the big-ticket items, a myriad of other expenses chip away at your remaining $14,000, often unexpectedly. Healthcare in San Francisco is among the priciest nationwide. Even with employer-sponsored plans, employee contributions can be around $101 per month per person, meaning a family of 4 could pay over $400 monthly just for premiums. Without subsidies, a family of 4 could easily face average monthly premiums of over $2,000 for health insurance. And that's before deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket expenses, which are often steep. A standard doctor's visit can be $150, and dental cleanings $100 to $300. Medical emergencies or chronic conditions can quickly lead to financial ruin. Utilities, while sometimes cited as slightly lower than national averages due to temperate weather, still add up. For a family in a larger apartment, electricity could be $100 to $180, gas $75 to $150, and water $50 to $85 per month. Internet can range from $20 to $60. Add in trash handling at around $40 per month. Conservatively, a family can expect to spend $400 to $600 or more on utilities each month. And then there are the hidden costs. Laundry detergent at $15, toilet paper at $7 for 4 rolls, a standard men's haircut at $42. These small, seemingly insignificant expenses accumulate rapidly. Home maintenance, unexpected appliance repairs, school supplies, clothing, personal care items. Each adds another layer of financial pressure. San Francisco also has various local taxes and fees that can increase the overall burden. For example, if you rent, you may face move-in costs that include first and last month's rent plus a security deposit, totaling thousands of dollars up front. The dream versus reality. Why $14,000 falls short. Let's quickly tally a conservative estimate for a family of 4. Rent, 3-bedroom. Normal area for $1,500. Childcare, 1 infant. 1 preschooler, $7,280, or adjusted if older children, but still significant. Groceries, $800. Transportation, 1 car. Some public transit, $1,000. Health insurance, premiums only $400. Utilities, $500. Miscellaneous personal care, household items, small emergencies, $500. Even with these conservative estimates, We're already at $14,980, well over $14,000 mark, and that's without accounting for any entertainment, savings, debt repayment, school activities, or unexpected expenses. If you factor in the more realistic child care costs for 2 young children, the total skyrockets even further. The stark reality is that for a family of 4 to live even a modest, non-extravagant life in San Francisco, an income significantly higher than $14,000 per month is required. A recent study by Smart Assets suggests a family of 4 needs to earn $371,571 per year, approximately $30,964 per month, to live comfortably in San Francisco. While comfortably can be subjective, it highlights the immense gap between what many people perceive as a decent income and what is actually needed in this city. Even if you cut every corner imaginable, forgo all non-essentials, and have excellent health with no unforeseen medical costs, staying under $14,000 for a family of 4 in San Francisco is an almost impossible feat. The homeless trap, a harsh consequence of unaffordability. The extreme cost of living directly contributes to San Francisco's homelessness crisis. It's not just individuals struggling. Families are increasingly caught in this homeless trap. The city's 2024 point-in-time count identified 405 homeless families, a significant increase from prior years, with 90% of unsheltered families found to be sleeping in vehicles. When a family's income falls short of basic needs, particularly housing, the pathway to instability and homelessness becomes terrifyingly short. Job loss, illness, or unexpected expenses, which might be manageable in other cities, can quickly trigger a cascade of financial disasters in San Francisco. A minimum wage worker would have to work approximately 4.7 full-time jobs just to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, while spending less than 30% of their income on rent. This illustrates the monumental disconnect between earning potential for many and the cost of survival. The social safety nets, while present, are often overwhelmed by the sheer scale of need. The housing crisis is a direct consequence of decades of insufficient housing supply combined with rapid job growth, making it a landlord's market where rents continually soar. This leaves low and middle-income families with increasingly limited options, pushing them further to the fringes or out of the city entirely. Escape routes and false hopes. What are the options? So, if living in San Francisco for less than $14,000 a month with a family of 4 is effectively impossible, what are the alternatives? One option is to live outside San Francisco. Many families commute from more affordable surrounding cities like Daly City, Brisbane, or Oakland. While this can reduce rent, it significantly increases transportation costs and commute times, eating away at family time and adding stress. The Bay Area as a whole still faces high housing costs, making truly affordable options scarce within a reasonable commuting distance. Another, more drastic, option is to embrace extreme frugality. This means no dining out, no entertainment, no new clothes unless absolutely necessary, shopping at discount stores, and meticulous meal prep. For families with children, this level of deprivation can impact their quality of life, access to enriching experiences, and social development. It transforms living from thriving to merely surviving, a constant state of financial anxiety. Some might suggest relying on government assistance programs. While these programs exist, they are often difficult to access, have long waiting lists. The verdict: no. You cannot live in San Francisco for less than $14,000 per month for a family of 4. The answer to our initial question, could you live in San Francisco for less than $14,000 per month for a family of 4, is a resounding and unequivocal no. The data, the real-world experiences, and the sheer mathematical reality overwhelmingly point to the fact that $14,000 simply isn't enough to cover the essential costs of housing, childcare, food, transportation, and other basic necessities for a family of 4 in San Francisco. San Francisco, while a vibrant and beautiful city, has become an economic fortress for most families. The astronomical cost of living, particularly housing and childcare, creates an insurmountable barrier for many. The homeless trap is not a hyperbolic term. It's a grim reality for those who fall through the cracks of this unforgiving financial landscape. For families dreaming of a life in the Bay Area, a clear-eyed understanding of the financial demands is crucial. Without a substantial income, far exceeding $14,000 per month, the struggle will be constant and the risk of financial precarity ever present. This isn't just about cutting back. It's about facing a cost structure that fundamentally makes comfortable family life unattainable for the vast majority on such a budget. San Francisco, for all its allure, remains a city that demands a prohibitive price for entry, leaving many families on the outside looking in, or worse, struggling within its incredibly expensive confines.